Hey Al, it's Gustav or Dinosaur, whatever. On that, I'm here to review the first episode of Catfish. I'm going to do a series of these episodes uh, for Catfish, and the reason being is someone tried to ask me to watch one of these episodes, which I watched online, and I think Catfish is the appropriate word because this stuff that we were seeing is not what it seems, but even I could tell you that. I've played many online games and I know, like, majority, for an example, the most common ones, I know majority of the females you see running around these games are dudes playing them. It's just a thing, you know. I mean, what you would find in the online world is that if you make an avatar or character that represents you the best, you'll find that a lot of the stuff we deal with in real life will deal with the same thing in the online life. Go fig. It's really strange. I'm not talking about whether you can get or whether what you can fight and what you kill. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking personalities on that. But anyway, this whole show revolves around people having online romances, and they find someone they really, really, really like, and they want to finally meet them, and then they find out it's not what you think. So, um, what this first episode had to do with was a girl that fell in love with a supposed guy on a Facebook page, and then the Facebook page would talk back to them. And suppose this guy's a model. He holds up cue cards for some TV show and stuff like that. And you had two guys that show up who actually did a whole movie called Catfish and say, let's help this person meet this person. Well, they do some research into the person and they find out some of their story is not clicking. Um, and it's just it doesn't make sense. So then they call the person. The person acts really weird on the telephone, and they don't know how to figure that out either. And they're starting to get suspicious about the whole thing. Now, the girl that likes the guy whose Facebook page we saw is all the way in in Arkansas, whereas her object is LA. Now, here's the thing you need to think about in this case. This is one, a long distance relationship. Two, if this guy was as good looking as she says he is, he probably would have no problem getting a date in LA or anywhere else. Supposedly he's a model. Supposedly he's an anesthesiologist and taking courses online. Let me explain something, people. I've been through 2 surgeries in the last 2 weeks on that, and you don't get anesthesiology degrees online because they're so dangerous. And that that is unfortunately, that should have been a big kink. Like, this is just BS. I mean, I personally know someone who went to the Isle of St. Croix anesthesiology, and they can't get a job in the United States. And of course, they'll have no problem going elsewhere, like Mexico or Europe. Won't have a problem. But the U.S., no, it's a different standard here. You have to be, and an anesthesiologist is you're playing with people's lives on that because you have to balance it no matter what the situation is, and that is unfortunately a very serious situation. And okay, so there's that, and then here, so they call them. They're getting suspicious. They're saying the phone call sounds like a 14-year-old. And they go back to the girl and tell her everything. They said, okay, we're gonna meet this person, but I'm telling you right now, I'm really suspicious. This is a person's a fraud. So they get there, and she's like, I don't care. And then she even brings her sister, and it turns out her sister liked this online profile before She did, and now her and his sister are fighting, and the catfish guys, are you sure meeting this person is worth the time for your sister? And they go, yeah, yeah. So then they go meet the person, they go to the house, they find out there's no one there. Then someone comes out, and they find out that this person is the one that's been doing the fake Facebook page. And she looks like someone who's had a rough life, to be honest. Someone that just life, either nobody got a hold of her or no one tried to help her, and she's kind of stuck in her own world. And she made the Facebook page to get back at someone, but then it got out of control, and she's tired of it, and she's ending it here, of course, on the television show. So then they're like, well, are you a lesbian or something? Because you're a girl pretending to be a guy talking to other girls. And she's like, no, no, no. And she says, you did it because, and I'm like, well, why did you do this? She says, well, I was made fun of high school. I was made fun of this. I was made fun of that. I was made fun of in high school a lot. And the reality is that's part of it. Everyone at some point or another in high school gets made fun of. You something stupid you did. The thing about high school is you have to realize is that people are trying to get their places in the world, and what machismoism and all that can get you in some high schools, and that later on they don't fly. And with this situation, I felt bad for this girl because more she's lied, more I look at her and I'm like, just nobody got a hold of her. No one said, hey, you need to go to the gym. Hey, you need to do this. You're going to have a miserable life. And you can tell she had a very sheltered, not exposed life. And I go, what do you do? I don't know, I just started a joke, and, went one thing, yeah, blah, 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 same story, and it's really bored selfish. Now, the show says it, and the victim here, the blonde girl, she's like, if these cameras were not here, I'd take you out. I would literally take you out right now. And she's like, oh, don't worry, I'm going to find a way to screw you over. You and I are not done. So, now whether or not she'll do anything, I doubt it. She was an airhead. Now, here's the thing everyone needs to consider. Online romances are just that. They're online. They're not a face-to-face. They're not even a Skype. There's nothing there. You're talking to someone, like for example, I did an experiment, I went on eHarmony to see this. You're talking to one of the 15% who got the response from eHarmony, says we couldn't find anyone for you. So I would go fig on that one, and I screenshotted the letter to prove it. That's what they sent me. It is so hilarious. Online, and then number two, why would you ever get intimate with a relationship with someone? It doesn't make any sense, especially someone which the first couple of things that should have tipped that series off. One, anesthesiologist online. No, liar. That's medical. If you're going to do that, you could have done it with accounting. You could have done it with communications, English, history, on and on and on. Anything medical in the United States requires you to go somewhere and learn it and pass a test. Anything online is bull. And the reason why is you have to go somewhere is that you have to show the practice, show the trade. If you just show up and say, oh, well, I'm online, I'm this, I'm that, what the, why? You know what, if I showed up with an online degree for anesthesiology, I'd go to every hospital, no one will hire me. They just wouldn't even interview me, just say, get out. And the funny thing is, you might know 100% of what you're doing, but no one will give you a chance because you didn't go to a real school. Now, the smart thing would have been is take your skills, then go to the school, and try to maybe test out a whole bunch of the classes. It's something. Sorry. It's something to think about. And there's chinks in that armor, and the cue cards from the television show. There are no cue cards anymore. They don't do that anymore. They don't hold signs that say applause. They don't do that. You know, it's the whole thing here. And what shocks me is that people buy into this. They buy into this fantasy life. They buy into it. But, you know, fantasy only goes so far. And at some point, you have to have some substantial contact. You have to have a physical, substantial entity there. Like, you could make a joke like, who could I think of? Vanessa Hudgens. I say here, I dated Vanessa Hudgens, which is bull. I never dated her. You know, anyone. On that, and then say, or like Jessica Alba, or just go down the list, and it's like they're nice to look at, all of them, but the fact is, if you don't have that talk, you don't talk to them, what, you're not even going to date them. Why would they care? You know, it's surprising what people say and what they do, and in that type of person, when they're having such a miserable life, it's very easy to see why they would lie to create something different in their lives, because the rest of their life has kind of failed them. And that's why they did it. And me, when I was younger, I did a lot of stupid things. I see where she's coming from. Biggest problem in my life, and this is just my opinion, is I didn't have any siblings on that to you know, check myself, just smack me around, like, what are you doing? Don't do that. It's stupid. On that. And that's tough on an only child. It's because your only experience is your parents, and when your parents were never cool or didn't know the social graces or whatever, then you have to go learn on your own. But the only way you really learn it on your own is by making all the mistakes that put you in this one. Blah, 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 goes in a circle. So, I don't know. Be cautious with online dating, I have to say. I'm going to look a few more episodes and just look at this. But this was really... And the one other thing I want to mention, this is very stalkerish show, I think. Yeah, and I mean just stalking. Just people just stalking other people. It's just kind of scary. It's like, really? Why don't you just leave these people alone? Let it go. I don't know. But anyway, this is Dennis Lutzoff. Check it out. I'll try to put up other episodes later. Bye.